Yes, we're talking about being stoked. Absolutely, positively, you about being stoked. The power of being stoked so that you can sell more, be more, have more, receive more, but most importantly, so that you can be powerful, feel joy, feel enthusiasm. And the key is to being stoked. Now, before we start this whole thing, I want to make sure that you are all dancing and getting ready to move, because if you are, then you're ready to being bold, brave, seen, heard, and being paid.
We're bold, brave, seen, heard. We're paid well, bold, brave, seen, heard. We're power women.
I'm a power woman, bold and brave and well paid. Woman, I've seen and heard a great leader. Woman, we're experts and leaders expanding together as woman, connecting and growing, we're powerful.
Power women. Be bold, be brave, be seen, be heard, and be paid well.
I don't know about any of you, but when I watch that, I just get myself going. I get myself stoked. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is how do you be stoked? Because when you know that the power of being stoked increases your sales, your presence, everybody wants to be around somebody who's stoked. Now, here's something interesting. I love Naked and Afraid, which is a show about people who choose, for some odd reason, to be thrown into a jungle, a forest, a isolated desert for 21, 40, and 60 days. And they are literally naked. They have 2 pieces of equipment that they choose to bring, 1 bag, and they meet up with people that they don't know at all, and they have to survive for 21 days, 40 days, or 60 days. Now, I've been watching the show for quite a while, and what's really interesting is here they are in an environment that is ruthless, horrible. I don't know why they do it, but every single show is about mental acuity, mental awareness, mental fortitude, mental decisions that an individual makes about how they're choosing to be in this situation. And by far, the ones that get the most value, that live and get to the end, well, they all live, but the ones who make it to the end, not only make it to the end in a space that, oh, I made it to the end, but that made it to the end with a sense of, yeah, I did it. This is great. Awesome. I did it. Woo, high five. Those people are people who go in stoked. And in sales and in leadership, if you're not stoked, you lose out on great opportunities to have the people around you want to be with you, be magnetic, be somebody that people want to know, like, and trust. So I want to make sure that we're talking about you being stoked. Hey, I'm so happy that Laura Tinbrook is here. She loves that show too. So you're going to know what I'm talking about a little bit here when I speak about what do you need to do to be stoked? Because let's be clear, while we're not naked, and we sometimes do get afraid, right? Because that's the world that we're in. We are in the jungle, of being in business, the jungle of having to put ourselves out there on a daily basis, expose ourselves, be vulnerable, and ensure that we're doing it in such a way that people want to be around us. They want to hire us. They want to invest in us. They want to make sure that we're playing a game with them that makes them feel better, and I'm grateful that they're with us. So let's talk about some of the tips that I have culled from the years of watching the show and from also, of course, living in my own life that I think are really important for you to embrace and recognize and be. So the first is to be present and be energized with the moment. Now, here's something really important. So often we are focused on where we're going, that goal over there. When I get over there, when I get there, it's going to be awesome. When I get there, it's going to be awesome. But the truth of the matter, if where you are here is not awesome, when you get there, that's not going to be awesome either. So often in my own life, when I had the goal, when I get there, I'm going to feel blah, 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 blah. And then you get there and it's like, seriously? So this is it? This is it? Never recognizing to be present in this moment and to be energized in this moment. So me doing this video with you right now is getting me stoked. It gets me pumped up because I know in this moment, wow, I could look at my desk. I could look at the camera. I see the lights. This is pretty cool. This is a moment that I'm having with you. And that moment is perfect. That moment is exciting. That moment makes me want to feel very sturdy in the ground that I'm standing on to be able to do this. That's what I mean about being present. Too often when we're talking to from a sales or pitching ourselves, we're not focused in that moment and bringing our energy and joy into that moment. We're so busy thinking about, I want to close the deal. I want to close the registration. I want to do that rather than being this moment, what I'm doing right now, is this energizing? In Naked and Afraid, there is a difference between going out and foresting for wood and going out to forest in the wood. Some people go out to foresting wood and they're like looking for the wood, but they're looking for the right kind of wood and they're getting excited about the wood and they're seeing how this is going to make a great fire. Other people are like, oh, I'm going for the wood. I'm going for the wood. And that really impacts how everybody around feels about them. So be careful. Be present, be energetic in the moment. The second part is be really happy that you get to do the work. In our world right now, we need to be happy that we get to do what we're doing right now. We get to inspire people. We get to influence people. We get to make a difference with people. We have to be really happy about that moment and not get caught in looking at your bank accounts or looking at who's getting what or looking at who you perceive as your competition. That is really dangerous for you and your business. It is more effective if you focus on being happy about the work that you do. And honestly, if you're not happy in who you're serving, if you're not happy about what you're doing, change it. Change it, because it is so critically important to be magnetic, to be manifesting what you want, to allow some really great stuff to go in, but you have to be happy with where you are right now and what you do right now. This is important, and it is one of the biggest tenets of Naked and Afraid. It's one of the biggest tenets about being in business. You know, everybody talks about what is your why. What's your why? Why are you doing it? And a lot of times people say, know your why in business in order to use that as a marketing message for everybody else. But it's a deeper story that you have to have within yourself. Know your why. Why are you doing this is all about your experience. Knowing your why is about why you're going to show up and do this work. Knowing your why is what makes you excited for doing it. Knowing your why is what makes you get stoked, makes you get excited, makes you get ready. Knowing your why matters in whatever aspect of work you're doing right now. And it's never, ever, ever about just serving other people. It has to be about your why within. Why is this filling you up? Why is this coming out of you? Why is this important to you? You have to know why, because if you know why, then you get to spread that word. You get to be in a space of joy because you're doing your why, and being stoked matters. I know this is hard because sometimes we get knocked down. Sometimes things just aren't working out for us at all. It was interesting. One of the shows we were watching, they were in the Amazon rainforest, and it rained for 36 hours. And they had no fire. They had a little bit of covering, but there was nothing else. And one of the guys decided to tap out. And he was a guy that was like all about ego. And he was tapping out because he didn't feel like he had bought enough food for the community, and so he was worthless. And I appreciate where his heart is, but remember we talked about the why? He wasn't being in the moment of the experience, so he couldn't even see what was happening around him. He couldn't even appreciate to go within for his own strength and courage. And so I want to make sure that you are being aware of that this is an experience. It is an experience. And Laura writes, knowing your why has been powerful to be able to say no to what doesn't feed you. Absolutely. Just because people want you to say yes doesn't mean it's yes and good for you. So you never give up. You can't catch the fish, you go out the next day. You didn't close the deal, don't worry about it. There's going to be other deals. I have found that oftentimes the reason something wasn't working out is because it was building in me some sort of strength, some sort of courage, some sort of confidence that I'm going to go in, some sort of, yes, I'm bringing it on. Do you think this is going to get me down? I don't think so. I'm going to bring it on, because I'm never going to give up on my why. I am never going to give up on my desire to influence and impact and inspire women to be the most powerful women they could possibly be, for them to say yes, 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 and to go for it. I will never give up on that. I will never, ever, ever, ever give up on that, because it fuels my soul. So yes, I have failures. Yes, sometimes things don't get out from, but I learn from that. And that's one of the biggest important pieces that I've learned from watching Naked Afraid, is you have to learn and grow. So maybe you didn't get the fish, but you learned to find a different bait. Maybe your hut has holes in it. You learn to find better coverage. Maybe you are finding yourself stepping on thorns. Maybe you should create some shoes out of vines and things so that you can walk with confidence. It's really important that you decide what you're learning. You decide that I'm going to learn something. I'm going to grow. I'm going to get this going on. I have to do this. You know, it's so critically important. You're right, Evie. It's keep going, never give up, keep on going. And Cricket, who's saying, yeah, you know, I haven't been able to be around. Who can I make it today? I miss it. Well, I miss you too, Cricket, so I'm excited you're here. You know, and yes, Naked Afraid, and yes, women are powerful on that show. You're 100% correct, Evie. One of the things, though, that's interesting of the last few shows when we're talking about women is we've got to be making sure that we are not holding back our magnificence to give someone else space to have their magnificence. And sometimes I see that these strong, amazing women who, when they're alone, they got it. But the moment that it becomes a mixed gender situation, and maybe somebody else is being a little bit more confident or strong, they will withdraw and not use their genius, why they were picked to be on the show. I want to make sure that you always stand in your space. You always know this is my genius. This is where I'm at. And you want to learn and grow how to use that no matter who's around you. Because as you thrive and succeed, you will always be in spaces higher and higher and higher up. So you want to move and groove to those highest levels. So for those of you, Power Women Worldwide, there we go. I wanted to let you know that you've all been inspiring me. So I too have been updating my website at teampegeen.com. But I want you all to remember something very, very important. It is with all of this, when we talk about the power of being stoked, you definitely have to remember that part of what keeps you stoked is your own mantra, your own sense of what am I about? And for us here, it's being bold, brave, seen, heard, and paid well. Be bold, be brave, be seen, be heard, and be paid well. It is critically important that we do this. Let me just bring in, so Evie wrote, wow, so true. We sometimes hold off our magnificence because we may be concerned about what others will think of it, but is not our problem. We must be magnificent. It is so critical that, yes, Evie, we have to make sure that in every moment you respect yourself enough that you know you're a genius in your field of expertise, that you know that you own this, you know how to do it. And here's some of the challenges is it's up to you to own it and to feel it and to see it and to do it. So I want you all to experience, I want you to be stoked. I want you to be stoked. I want you to make sure that you're using your power, that you're using your presence to remember to be present and be energized with the moment, to make sure that you are happy and get to do the work that you do, to make sure that you know your why. Why are you doing it? This is critically important, to never give up on yourself with a life experience and to learn and grow. And that's how you do stoking. That is how you know you are truly in your place of magnificence. So everybody get ready to be stoked.